Hi dear students, welcome to my CBSE world. In today's video, we are going to look at the new NCERT 9th class social science syllabus. Right. So today we jump on to the new NCERT class 9th social science 2026-2027, and here history chapterization. And what is the big theme here? The journey of human society from early humans to global connection. So you should remember as a theme wise. So we have a history, right? Social science has four components. As I told you, history, then geography, then political science or democratic politics, then fourth one is economics, right? So now in the history chapterization, what is the big theme here? So we are going to look at the journey of humans, the journey of human society from early humans to global connection. So we are going to look at the early humans, our forefathers, like the people who lived here 50 lakhs years ago or 30 lakhs years ago or 20 lakhs years ago. So what is the evolution of the human beings? How they evolved from monkeys, from apes to present day human beings, right? So today our human being scientific name is Homo sapiens sapiens, right? So we evolved from apes, monkeys, okay? So we are going to trace the history, how early humans lived and what was the cultural evolution, what is the society evolution, how they evolved from present day modern human beings, right? So this is the big theme you need to understand. What is the big theme, Nana? The journey of human society from early humans to global connection. How present day society was connected each other, how globally connected each other, right? Right. And coming to the next slide. So if you look at the chapter in history, the chapter 1 deals about the understanding social science. So very, very important, dear students. What is social science? So every student should understand. Okay. In our day-to-day academics, we will use to say social science or social studies, right? SST. But what is the meaning of it? What is the actual meaning of social science? As we all know that social is nothing but society. Science means talks about the facts, right? Social science deals about the society as a fact. Okay. Next, if you look at this headline, understanding society through social science, what is the key theme here? What is the meaning of social science? Okay. And I will explain everything in the main chapter, okay? When this is just mapping only, okay, right? So meaning of social science, then what are the branches of social science and importance of social science and relevance of social science in day-to-day life and citizenship and society. Okay, these are the broad themes which we are going to look at in this chapter. And coming to this second chapter, chapter 2 deals about the early humans and the beginning of civilization, which is the big thing which I told you in the first slide, right? So early humans and what is the beginning of civilization? What do you mean by civilization? Civilization is the modern form of society where big infrastructure was there, road connection, electricity, everything, advanced form of society we can say, right? Then from what is the headline? From hunters and gatherers to civilization. Earlier human beings, our forefathers like Homo erectus, Homo neanderthal, right, and to some extent Homo sapiens and other people, Homo Australopithecus boise and Java man, all these people, they were hunter and gatherers. Till Neolithic age, our human beings, right, they were hunters and gatherers, leading a nomadic life. What do you mean by nomadic life? Moving from one place to another place in search of food. So from hunter gatherers to modern civilization. So we have Indus Valley civilization, Egyptian civilization, Mesopotamian civilization. We have many civilizations. So civilization, what is one of the peculiar characteristic of civilization? Advanced form of society. They have proper urban structure, okay, housing structure, roads, drainage facility. Okay, if you look at the Indus Valley civilization, we have all these features. So right, and literature, and literature and the priests, temples, everything. Okay, art, architecture, everything will be there. These are some characteristics features of the civilization, right? So what is the key thing here? Early humans, we are going to look at whatever the stone tools they used. So they used different stone tools. So we have lithic ages, lower Paleolithic, middle Paleolithic, upper Paleolithic. Then we have Neolithic age, Chalcolithic age, Bronze age, Iron age. So we have so many ages. So in each stone ages, in each age, people use different tools. Acheulean hand axes, Abivillian hand axes, chopping tools, like borings, etc. They use. So stone tools, what kind of stone tools they use? Today we are using the iron tools, right? Axes, sickle, etc., which are made with the iron. But in those days there was no iron. Iron discovered just 3000 years ago. That is called Iron Age, right? And Bronze Age, bronze discovered. So copper age, copper discovered. Before that, if you go back to 10,000 years, 20,000 years or 30,000 years, there was no stone, there were no iron and copper and bronze age. So only the early human beings used only stones. So stone tool, discovery of fire, who discovered the fire, okay, everything. And agriculture, when agriculture was started, and settlement, settled villages like we have today, villages we have, or we are settled. But earlier days, people are nomading, people are moving from one place to another place. I told you that's called nomadism, right? So then rise of civilization, how the civilization started, how they arose. Okay, next, coming to this chapter 3, the state and society. Up to 1000, see, common era. What is state and what is society, right? State is a country or government, we can say that. And how the society, and headline, what is the major headline? Growth of kingdoms. How the kingdoms were started, kingdoms arose. Okay, and empires were started. So we have know that we have Roman Empire, right? Roman Empire, and we have Mughal Empire, we have Russian Empire, we have Ottoman Empire, okay, Austrian Habsburg Empire. So many empires were there. Well, empires means a large kingdom, not a small kingdom. If you look at this, let us say Maratha kingdom, so small one, really confined to Maratha region only, Maharashtra only. If you look at the Kakatiya kingdom in South India, that Warangal and Telangana, it is confined to Telangana only. This is called small kingdom. If you Hyderabad kingdom, Nizam kingdom, something like that, princely state. So we have Gwalior kingdom, like Jhansi kingdom, so small kingdom. When you talk about the empire, it's a big one. So if you combine 3-4 kingdoms together, it is called empire. So we can say Mughal Empire. Why you are saying Mughal Empire? Okay, and Vijayanagara Empire, Mughal Empire. Empire means the Mughals ruled from Delhi to till Hyderabad. So the territory is very vast, geography is too vast. So that is called empires. And social institutions. What are the social institutions we have? Like families and institution, family, okay, kinship system, marriage system, family, economic organization, political organizations. So we have different social system to perform different functions, right? The way your human body has so many organs, right? Similarly, society has so many institutions. So each institution perform different activities. Like for example, school, you are studying in school. So school is an institution. What is the function of the school? Imparting education, giving the education to the children, okay, and creating a better citizen for tomorrow. Okay. So next, what is the key thing here? Janapadas. How the Janapada means people. Janapadas and Mahajanapadas. If you go back to Mauryan times, before that we have Janapadas. Okay, Janapadas, Mahajanapadas, Mauryan Empire, Mauryan Empire, Gupta Empire. Okay, and we are going to study all the same. Mauryan Empire, Chandragupta Maurya, like Bimbisara and Ashoka, everything. And going to look at the Mauryan Empire, Gupta Empire, Sri Gupta. Okay, and social structure, how the society was structured, constructed. Okay, and economy and trade, what is the role of economy, trade, and religion and culture. Coming to this fourth chapter, the resistance and resilience from 1000 to 700 CE, common era. So what is the major headline here? Preserving identity. So every kingdom, they are presenting their identity through change and challenges. Okay, look at the key themes here. Delhi Sultanate, Delhi. And regional, we have regional kingdoms like Chola, Pandya, Chera dynasty, Kakatiya dynasty, Vijayanagara dynasty, Maratha dynasty. So many dynasties are there. So, and regional kingdom, resistance and movement, how they resisted against the foreign invaders, and the Bhakti movement. These are the spiritual Bhakti movement and Sufi movement, and the Mughal Empire, cultural relations, everything we are going to look at in this chapter. Coming to the chapter 5, chapter 5 deals about the India and the world, right? So, India and the world from 1900 BC, before common era, to 1200 common era. So what is the headline here? India's ancient global connection. How India connected with the global world in those days, ancient days. And we are discussing about the Silk Route, right? What was the Silk Route? Silk Route from China to India and connecting to the Middle East and the European and African countries. So we have Silk Route on the land and we have Silk Route on the over the water also, right? So and India ancient global connection. So key themes, sir. And today we are called globalization, right? So today is the entire globe is interconnected. So we are calling it the global village or globalization. What is the process? What are the enabling factors which led to the globalization? Technology, information, communication, everything. So earlier days also, our India is connected with the rest of the world, and rest of the countries also connected with the India. So there was a trade is taking place between the India and Roman Empire and Roman civilization, and between the Indus Valley civilization with the Sumerian civilization in Persia, so etc. etc. So key things here: what are the trade networks and culture exchange? How the culture is exchanged? As you know, We all know that culture is a way of life, right? So it's a complex whole which includes our knowledge system, belief system, morals, custom, traditions, or any other characteristic as human being we acquire through our day-to-day life is called culture, according to E.B. Taylor. Okay, so trade networks, cultural exchanges, how the culture, everything, our food, culture, dresses, knowledge system, how they are exchanging from one country to another country, right? And the spread of Indian culture and Southeast Asian connections, how we are, India made a Southeast Asian nations, especially the Thailand, Vietnam, Singapore, Indonesia, Philippines. So these are Southeast Asian countries like Japan, etc., and Taiwan, etc., and South Korea, North Korea. These are the Southeast Asian countries. And travels, and who are the travelers and scholars? As we all know that in our textbook you come across the Marco Polo. He is the called king of the medieval traveler. Marco Polo, Ibn Battuta, right? So these are the people who traveled extensively all over the world and studied those societies. So Marco Polo came to our Hyderabad, like Telangana also. He visited Kakatiya kingdom, right? So he visited contemporaries like Vijayanagara kingdom, and he has documented everything. And coming to travelers and scholars and knowledge system, etc. And coming to this, what is the golden formula for history? How can you remember, like as a storyline? So early humans, who are the early humans? Our forefathers. I told you, apes, our Homo erectus, Homo neanderthal, Java man, African man, etc., etc. And present day Homo sapiens sapiens. So early humans, and what was their economic system? Hunting, gathering, and leading to agriculture. After agriculture, it led to settlement of the villages. After settlement of village led to the civilization. What is civilization? Advanced form of society. And then kingdoms emerged, right? Kingdoms and empires. Then resistance and resilience and global connection. In this way, as a story, you can connect together. So going to our next part, and history in one line. If you say history in one line, how can you say history explains how human societies evolved from early communities to complex civilization and global interconnection? Very, very important. History explains, in these history chapters, all 5 chapters are interconnected, and you can remember as a story. And history explains how human societies evolved from early communities, our forefathers, early communities to complex civilization. Now we are living in a complex society. Okay, trade, business, everything interconnected. Okay, and interconnection and global interaction. So this is the one of the history in one line. And coming to this next geography chapterization. Geography, what is the big theme here? Big theme here, understanding Earth and its process, climate, ocean and life. Understanding Earth, shaping the Earth. Okay, shaping the Earth and its process, how it's taking place. And climate, what is climate, what is weather, what is climate, and ocean, what is the role of ocean, and life, which are okay. And coming to, if you look at the chapter 1, shaping the Earth surface, a headline here, how natural forces create landforms. So we have different type of landform like mountain, plateau, plains, deserts, coastal plains, islands, etc., etc. Different type of landforms. And key things here, internal forces, inside what's happening, and earthquake, and volcanoes, weathering. Okay, just remember these words. Don't go deeper about what is internal forces, what is exogenic forces, what is endogenic forces. Don't go deeper, because your concerned teacher or myself, I will explain you detail. Okay, I am here to help you out. But now today just we are focusing on mapping only. Just understand the words. What are internal forces? What is earthquake? What is volcanoes? What is weathering? What is erosion? Okay, sheet erosion, soil erosion, everything is there. Erosion and deposition. Then rivers, glaciers. I will come talk about rivers, perennial rivers, non-perennial rivers, South Indian rivers, North Indian rivers. Okay, we have different rivers, glaciers, and wind and sea waves, formation of landforms, etc., etc. And coming to the chapter 2 deals about the atmosphere and climate, right? Headline, the atmosphere controls weather and climate. How the atmosphere is controlling the weather and climate, right? So what is the key thing here? Composition of the atmosphere. How the atmosphere, what is the composition? How many gases are there? Okay, so we have predominantly nitrogen, more than 70%. Coming to oxygen, almost 20%. Like that. 78% nitrogen, 20% oxygen, carbon dioxide, argon, etc., etc., which we are going to look at everything in the composition of atmosphere. And layer of atmosphere, stratosphere, troposphere, ionosphere, mesosphere, exosphere, everything we are going to look at. And weather and climate, what is weather, short-term weather, etc., elements of weather, okay, and factors are affecting climate and climate change. Coming to chapter 3, oceans and life. So oceans, the lifeline of the earth. We can remember like this. Oceans are the lifeline of the earth. What is the key thing here? Importance of oceans. How oceans are playing a very important role in the human life. Okay. So all water cycle, precipitation, everything is coming from ocean only. All temperature and all. You need to understand what is the ocean. How many oceans are there? Okay. Then key thing, importance of oceans, waves. What are the waves, tides, and what are the current, cold current, warm current, oceans and climate, marine ecosystem. What is the ecosystem within the oceans and human life? What is the interaction? What is the interconnection between the oceans and human life? Because most of the trade is taking place in the ocean water bodies only. So this 70% of the Earth's surface is covered with the water. It's called blue planet. So ocean conservation. How can we? Today we are going to conserve the ocean because so much of pollution, air pollution, water pollution, and sedimentation and solid waste are coming into the oceans and leading to contamination of the ocean bodies. And as a result, the life which are living in the oceans are facing a devastating effect. Next, and coming to the chapter 4, life on the earth. Headline: biodiversity. What is biodiversity? Different type of variety of life forms like flora and fauna, microorganisms, insects, birds, everything comes under the biodiversity and the web of life. How they interconnected, right? And what is the key thing here? Ecosystem. What is ecosystem? What is biodiversity? Natural vegetation, flora and fauna. Then wildlife. What is wildlife? And human impact on the environment. Okay. What is the anthropogenic causes? Okay, right. And the conservation of biodiversity. So we have different acts. Wildlife Protection Act. Okay. And if you look geography, golden formula. How can you remember the geography? What is the Earth's surface? And Earth's surface. On the Earth's surface we have atmosphere, then climate. Then after climate we can remember the oceans, and after ocean ecosystem, biodiversity and conservation. So in this way you can easily remember this geography. What is the first one? Earth surface, atmosphere, climate, ocean, ecosystem, biodiversity and conservation. In this way you can easily remember in one word. Okay, right. And coming to this, geography in one line. Geography explains how physical processes shape the earth and support the life through the climate, ocean, ecosystem and biodiversity. Geography storyline, landforms. First remember, landforms means land, different type of landforms. Like physical feature we can say, landforms, atmosphere, climate, ocean, life, conservation. So this sequence helps the student to understand how the earth's physical environment create the condition necessary for the life and sustainable development. So we'll discuss about sustainable development in our later videos. Okay, right. So coming to this political science, chapterization. Political science is a big theme. Understanding democracy, governance and political authority. Understanding democracy, governance and political authority. So chapter 1, democracy. We all know what is democracy. Rule of the people, or we can say government of the people, by the people, for the people. Then government of the people. The key themes: meaning of democracy, features of democracy, importance of democracy, democracy and diversity, rights, fundamental rights and fundamental duties, and citizen participation in day-to-day life. Okay, chapter 2 deals about the elections. Headline: the power of the vote. Key themes: meaning of election, need for elections, electoral process, and universal adult franchise means voting right, and election commission. Article 324 deals about the election commission, which will conduct the election for the Lok Sabha and the state assemblies, and free and fair elections. Coming to chapter 3, authority. Headline: legitimate power and governance. What is power? What is authority? What is governance? What government does is called governance. Right. Key things here: meaning of authority and sources of authority. So we have different sources: legal, racial authority, traditional authority. Right. We have charismatic authority. Different authorities are there. I will explain in detail. Okay. Meaning of authority, source of authority, types of authority. In types of authority, 3 types are there: authority and government, accountability, responsibility, responsiveness. Everything will come. Limits on authority. Political science, golden formula. People. So in any democracy, people possess the power. Okay, the people are the basis. So people leads to democracy, and again election. People are participating in election. Then representatives, our MLAs and MPs. Then authority. They have authority. They have the power. And accountability. Whatever they do, they should do accountable to the people. Then good governance. So there are some 5 features. Okay, like participatory governments. Okay, accountability, responsiveness, everything comes under the good governance. There are some elements of good governance are there. And coming to this political science explains how people govern themselves, how they are ruling themselves, how they conduct their day-to-day life in the society. there is through the democracy. Democracy is one of the widely form of government in the world. Okay, most of the, we have nearly 200 countries. In 200 countries, nearly 160 countries are 160 to 170 countries, and 99% most of the countries are democratic country. So it has some features. Elections and accountability authority, political science storyline, democracy, elections, authority, accountability, good governance. I already explained. So this section helps the student to understand how democratic governments and formed, how leaders chosen, how they elected, and how the authority is exercised, how they execute their authority within the constitutional limits. Because for us, constitution is the law, supreme law. So everyone should follow the constitution. So they have to rule according to the within the framework of the constitution only. Coming to the economics, so this is the last part, economic chapterizations, economic big theme, understanding resource. So what are the resources we have? Natural resource, human-made resource, renewable resources, non-renewable resources, everything. Market, what is the role of market, entrepreneurship. Chapter 1, building blocks of economics. So headline, the foundation of economic life. And what is the key theme here? Meaning of economics, human wants and scarcity, and choices and opportunity, cost, factors of production. Okay, what are the factors? Land, labor, market, electricity, everything comes into production, distribution, consumption, everything we will discuss in this chapter. Coming to chapter 2, the price puzzle, what drives the market. So, what is the major heading? How demand and supply determine the prices. How demand and supply determine the prices. What is the key thing here? Meaning of market, demand, supply, and price determination, and consumers and producers. Who are the consumer? Who are the producers? And market equilibrium. Okay, and coming to this chapter 3. From ideas to startup. It's a very, very important chapter because in today's we have so many ideas, and because of the government of initiative, the Startup India and Make in India program, so government laying more emphasis on these ideas. So every student, most of the youngsters have some ideas how it leads to startup. Okay, like Zomato, we have Swiggy. Okay, we have Darwin Box. We have many startups. So successfully, physics wala, everything. Next, innovation and entrepreneurship, key themes, creativity and innovation, entrepreneurship, business planning, how to plan your business, startup, challenges of business, and economic opportunities. Coming to chapter 4, smart ways to manage finance. How can you manage your finance? How you are saving money, save smart, spend smart. Okay, key themes, understanding money, functions of the money, importance of the money in day-to-day life, and budgeting. So we have budgeting, income and expenditure, how much income we are getting, how much expenditure we are spending, and financial planning. So right, everyone should have this, finance, managing finance, right? Individually we are managing, family-wise we are managing, government, state government, central government. So various agencies, everyone have this planning structure. Okay, income and saving and investment, saving habit, and what is the future security if anything happen in future. And coming to this fourth one, banking and digital payments like bank deposits, UPI, universal payment interface, and online payments. You have PhonePe, GPay, Paytm, etc. And responsible borrowing. We are taking loans for different purposes. Okay, loans and credit, repayment structure, financial literacy, smart financial decisions. Okay, everyone should have this financial literacy. Then consumer awareness. So if you look at this economics golden formula, what are the wants? But we have scarcity of resources. Resources are very less. So how can we, what is the choice and production, market, prices, how the prices are determined, and entrepreneurship, managing finance and economic growth, right? And if you look at the economics in one line, economics explain how people use limited resources, how they are using, because on the earth we have limited resources, but population is growing day by day. So how the government will distribute the resources. So this is where the economics plays an important role, right? So resources, how market determine the prices based on the demand and supply. The prices, and how entrepreneurs means the people who are having ideas. And like for example, Elon Musk is a big entrepreneur. Entrepreneurs create businesses and opportunities. Economic storyline. We have scarcity of resources, and we have different people have different choices and productions and markets, price, entrepreneurship and development. Coming to this complete social science in mapping, history deals about the early humans, right? Already we have discussed early humans, civilization led to civilization, state, modern government were formed, and resistance and global connection. Geography deals about the landforms, right? So in the landform, the atmosphere, ocean, life, we are going to deal. And political science deals about the democracy, election, authority, And economics, we are dealing about the economics basics like market, entrepreneurship, managing finance. And what is the master formula? Human society. Human society is nothing but is equal to past. We are going to look at our past and environment, earth and all, and governance, how the societies are working, what is governance, and economy. So these are the four things which we are going to look at. What is that? Human, we are dealing about social science about society, right? So human society is nothing but past, our past. Okay, and then our environment, present day environment, and governance and economy. This single formula connects the entire now NCERT class 9th social science syllabus into a one coherent story of the student. So in this way you need to remember. Okay, thank you all for giving this opportunity, and in our next video we will discuss about the chapter 1, understanding social science. So I will make a direct main chapter videos. Thank you all for giving this opportunity.